What's up, guys? It is Marty teambeige, and today I'm here with my boy, Mar. How you doing?
What's up? What's up? Good. How are all you guys?
Yeah, people. Hope we're all doing well. Why don't you go ahead and tell the people what you had going on and what you did this weekend?
Yeah, man. So it was sneak peek weekend. Played in a couple different tournaments. Was able to get the cards from Sayak on Saturday, so it was good being able to play with them on Saturday. Tried a tournament. Um, it was a little shaky there, getting used to the new cards. So I had a loss. And then went undefeated the next day with with this deck. So very fun deck, very cool profile, I think. Obviously I'm biased, but happy to go through this.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's get right into it.
Awesome. Obviously playing cards from Sayak, so as you can tell, the new super heavy stuff is gonna be insane. So starting off with three bike. This card is so broken. It's a free search, level modulating that's not once per turn. It's a soft once per turn, so you can still like do some shenanigans with it. And its level comes up a lot. Hint, hint. Um, but definitely probably one of the best cards in the deck. And then you have Wakushi, probably another one of the best cards in the deck. If you don't know what this is by now, you're kind of late. This card's crazy. Um, it's a free scale, it's a free special. It leads to another search, so it's really good. And then the fact that both of these are tuners is amazing. It comes up a lot. So you can make synchros with your other cards. You can overlay these two to make rank fours using the level modulation of bike. Um, this is really, really strong. Um, two Big Benkai. He's also new from Sayak. He's the guy that you scale with the Wakaoshi, and then he gets you the search. The reason why you play two is because one, if you draw it, it's a brick. You can't really do the Wakaoshi play. But also two can sometimes help you play around different hand traps. So like for example, if you have like one of these in hand and another super heavy in hand, you can like bait them with the bike, or like you can play this normal summon the super heavy, try to get the search and bait them with that, and then go bike. So playing two of these isn't necessarily bad. Like it's not entirely a break. And the obviously the scale effect, like scale is amazing. And the effect to scale itself back actually comes up as well too.
Did you end up drawing him at all?
I drew him like all the time, but it's good because it kind of like helped me learn how to play through those situations or in, the different hand traps.
Very nice.
And obviously he searches a soul, so these are the two souls you play. One soul piercer, which is non once per turn search, really good. He's also level 4, so that you can overlay if you need to, synchro plays, whatever. And then the one soul peacemaker. This card's sick. Tribute to summon one from deck. A lot of times, you get into weird like board states where you aren't doing the normal like tributing the link thing. Um, but he helps you get like bodies out of deck that you might need. So he's really good too. Drawing either one of these is not a problem because if you draw this, then you might not have to search it later on in your combo, and if they like Ash, whatever, that's okay. Drawing this, he can be a starter as well. So, um, yeah, these cards are really, really good. I feel like the compact super heavy engine of just like these 10 is really strong if you're just using it as an engine. Obviously, like the pure version of the deck, you want to play a fatter super heavy count just because you capitalize on having more. For this, I'm just using as like the 10 card engine is solid. Next, so this is the super heavy part of the deck, 10 cards, very compact. You'll notice a lot of compact engines in here. Obviously it's a Spright deck, so throwing in the two beaver or three beavers, two anglers. Um, this is really good because it has synergy with the super heavy stuff. Being that you can get to a free sprint pretty much just off of one bike or one Wakuchi. Um, and then in the middle of your combo, if you draw angler, when you pitch for the super heavy link, the scarecrow, you can plus off the angler too. So angler ends up not being as much of a break anymore. And then this whole package is really good for generating advantage post super heavy combo once you've done the whole thing. After that you have this one first. You have the um Spright engine. So you have 3 blue, pretty standard. Blue is the best one. It doesn't do anything like inherently broken, but it lets you play sprites as more of like an engine. It just lets you get to other sprites, which is cool. And then you play the other sprites, which are one red, one carrot, and then one jet. You can't play like the starter and smashers and stuff, obviously with the super heavies, because of the restrictions that they have. So the only thing jet searches is double cross. So what you really do is you just do the super heavy combo. You end on the only spell trap in your deck, which is double cross. Use as an interruption. You don't necessarily have to do any of the super heavy stuff on turn 3. You kind of just control the game from there. So it's pretty good.
And those ratios worked out for at least monster wise, regardless of jet.
Yeah, this was perfectly fine. A lot of times, like I was even just using the jet as just a special summon body, and not even using the effect, which was good because sometimes I didn't want to lock myself. Sometimes I had already like gone through double cross if I hard drew it, or like I sided this out. So I was just using the jet as like another body to like keep extending, which is good.
Nice.
Yeah. That's it for the sprite stuff. Then another engine, this is engine.tech, that you play because you're playing the sprite stuff is the Melfi engine. You play the one caddy and the one penny. This is just free herald on your opponent's turn. It allows you to like layer your interruptions, and it's still as good against cash as ever. It lets you do like the Melfi negate, can't attack, and then also gets you to herald, which is good. But the best part about this is that caddy can search any beast, so it searches penny, of course, searches beaver, yeah, for follow up. But then you also have the option in this for searching Hopier. Hopier is crazy because it lets you play through Dark Ruler. I figured that the spell canceller builds were good, but they were more like turn 1 heavy, and they weren't as mid range. I feel like this type of playstyle is more mid range, which suited me and like my playstyle. So I liked Hopier. There were a lot of times where like I'd summon a Bestial. I sided in a Bestial, so I'd summon a Bestial. I'd go Hopier, and then on their turn I'd make Savage. Or Hopier is another way to get to Herald, if you want, or another way to get to Baron. This dude Santa Claus me, and I used his Santa Claus to make Savage, which was, I mean, it's gas. And then that way Caddy doesn't have to search Penny. Caddy can search like Beaver if you want. And then last card in terms of engine was
Let's
this little guy.
go. That's my
Um,
boy.
yeah, shout out Marty. We figured this guy out in testing. He's really cool. He works really well with this super heavy stuff, especially because Wakaushi and Big Benkai, when they're used for synchros, they scale themselves back. So it's basically like a free synchro, and then you still have scales. What this guy does is that it's not an on summon effect. It's you can activate the effect to then bring out one of your scales. So if you have either of these in scale, you bring it out, and then you synchro with it immediately. And so the cool part is like you have Big Benkai in scale. This is why Big Benkai isn't really a brick in this. Because worst case, you scale this, you normal summon this. He's also a level 2, so sprites, boop, boop, boop. You can special summon a bunch of them. And he works with that engine as well. But later, then you can activate the effect after you've special summoned a few sprites or whatever you need. To bring out Big Benkai. Big Benkai is an 8. You immediately synchro. You go into Baron, and then Big Benkai scales himself back up. So then you still have potential scales to be able to pendulum summon.
Very nice.
And then after that is just a bunch of non-engine second like hand traps. Three Ash felt like you have to respect branded, especially with the new cards. Branded is really good. They can play on your turn, on their turn, obviously. They can do a lot of different cool combos. But hitting branded fusion, I mean, is still insane. So I felt like three Ash was worth it. Droll, I did not like Droll that much. Obviously it's very good against like the super heavy deck. It's good against Pearly to an extent, but they can do a lot of stuff in like draw and standby. So like it's not crazy. Um, but I think it's really good when it hits. If you don't have the opportunity to draw, like I played a lot of Sword Soul players. I didn't really have the opportunity to draw them. It wasn't crazy. Um, Valor is really, really good. I think Pearly is an insane deck, and being able to Valor Pearly is really strong. Or Valor Lily actually. Lily's actually crazy. Um, so Valor was really good. Valor came up a lot, especially against like Sword Soul, and Branded too. Um, so shout out Valor. And then Nib, I honestly thought about cutting Nib, because most of the times decks are putting up an Omni Negate either before their fifth summon or before they do their actual combo. So Nib isn't as impactful, but when you have like Nib Valor or like Nib Droll or Nib Ash, you can get them to a board state where your Nib actually hits. And when your Nib hits, then obviously it's really good. The last card was two Kurikara. Kurikara I think is really good. Even at two, like you can draw it as your sixth and do really well with it. Part of the players get greedy and they'll do like the draw a bunch on your turn, and then go into Nor and then draw again. And then you kind of just Kurikara them and keep playing. Kurikara obviously clears Sword Soul, does fairly well against Branded, especially if you don't care about Mirror Jade's like destruction effect. To like I mean Mirror Jade's effect to like Regeki your board. Um, you can clear away their board and then potentially go for game and not even worry about like going to end phase and having your board blown up. So career card is super strong. Sometimes what the Pearly players will do is they'll go like draw combo and then they'll flip the trap and go into Noir, and then they won't draw with Noir. Um, just to play around this card, which I think even having the threat of this in your deck is to make them do that is so strong.
40 cards in main.
Yep, 40 cards in main. People the entire weekend were shocked how I fit all of these engines into clean 40 cards and then all still played like 14 non-engine.
The math seems
Um,
very consistent, which
yeah,
is impressive.
it's pretty consistent. You do draw hands where like it's awkward, but people don't know how to interact with this, especially because you're playing the sprites. So you usually still have ways to play it, even if they interact sometimes one or two times.
Nice. Do you want to go to extra deck?
Yeah, for sure. Um, the extra deck you play the ones Scarecrow, Super Heavy Link. This guy's really cool. If you don't know what he does, he brings back one from grave by pitching one. Um, and I'm sure he does something else, but I don't know.
Okay.
You can't use this, and you don't take battle damage from attacks. Nice. um, but yeah, he's good. Lets you push the angler. That's what I use him for a lot. And then also reviving, obviously, for the super heavy combo.
Yeah, that pitching angler feels illegal.
That's so good. Um, so one sprint, you go to sprint in a lot of different ways. If you have one bike in hand, this is free. Um, if you don't, there's lots of ways to go sprint. A lot of times, like I would get interrupted on my super heavy combo, and they'd oddly enough leave me with like some monster, and I'd level normal summon like any level two, make sprint, and I'd continue going, and the look on their faces was just like, "What the hell are you playing?" um, one gigantic's all you need. You're not usually fetching level twos too much from deck, so one is okay. One Melfier of the Forest, like I mentioned, this card's really cool. Um, there were a lot of times where going second, like I stopped a lot of their effects, and then I did through the Career Car or whatever. And then I made this, searched the caddy, attacked, made Zeus, cleared their board, and then end phase summoned the caddy, and then I still had something. So um, this card's really cool, and it works really, really well against Cashier just inherently. So having it in there is nice. The one Herald to go along with it, you can make Herald a bunch of different ways. There are a lot of times where I made it early too, even without just doing the Melfi stuff, which is good. Let's see. One Gin Buster. Gin Buster, obviously another layer of interruption. You can make it like turn 2 or 3 if you need to. That way, even though you're like not killing them, you still have some sort of interruption going into the next turn. Nibimaru discards gas, removal, you know what it does. 1900 attack, which is nice. Mosquito, this card's good too. You guys know this. Obviously, been playing this through Spright format, so um, very good card. Um, one Zeus, you don't need more. Going a second against Kashtira, if they hit Zeus, that's fine. You have other ways to like break their board. If they don't hit Zeus, that's okay too. You just use them. There's so many like good things in this extra deck that they usually are not comfortable with just hitting like one thing and being happy. So it's fine. Cupid pitch, this thing's crazy. You play it with all the level 2s that you're playing, and then you have a bunch of level 2 tuners as well. So you can go into this fairly easy, and this helps you synchro climb, but then it also helps you search. And then your two options. So you're probably wondering why, Amar, why you like playing this random, those random uh cards in your deck if you can't search them. Well, Cupid Pitch helps you get to both of these. So if you do the Cupid Pitch combo, you can get to Hopier, or you can choose to search this little guy. Both are really good. Hopier if you're anticipating Dark Ruler. This little guy if you want to make like 10 and still be able to scale. Um, so Cupid Pitch is awesome. Helps you get into Savage. Savage is really good. You can make it on your turn. You can make it on their turn. Obviously, an Omni Negate. You're usually equipping this guy, but sometimes I would like gigantic overlay into Sprint, gigantic overlay over the Sprint, and then detach the Sprint, and then later on their turn, I'd like Savage make Savage attach the Sprint, which was fine. It's good. Excel Synchron, really good card, part of the Super Heavy combo. If you haven't made it, or if you haven't seen it, then maybe Marty, we can make a separate video on combos with this deck.
Yeah, for sure.
Let us know in the comments if you guys want, if you got something like that. Um, Baron, Baron is Baron, really good. Also the effect to tag out and bring back from grave comes up a lot. It lets you get follow up really well. One Baguska, you can make 4s fairly easily, even though this is a 2-focus deck. Call it 2-axis, if you will. So Baguska is really strong, especially against the Pearly board, because Noir is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects. Baguska is just passive, so you can kind of like Baguska stall them out for a while, and then when you have enough bodies, you can go Underworld Goddess and link away their Noir, and then Underworld Goddess can help push for game. It's pretty fat. So this didn't come up because I didn't play a Pearly person or Pearly like player, but in theory this is pretty strong. And it can help clear some like awkward boards too.
Nice. Any changes you would make to the extra deck?
Yeah, one change. I would add Metaphys Horus. If you guys don't know what Metaphys Horus is, if I don't have it right now. Actually, behind me. Metaphys Horus is basically another synchro, but it's a synchro 6. And this card lets you play into boards going second. I don't know where did I put it. I put it somewhere. I'll find it.
Basically,
But
yeah. If you synchro with a pendulum, I believe is what you said, you can take control of a monster your opponent controls.
yeah, so if you synchro with a pendulum, you can take control of a monster your opponent controls, and then also uh it has another effect that you can negate monster's effect on your opponent's field. So going second, it helps push through boards. So I might find a way to play that in the extra deck. I might cut Baguska or cut this, depending. what I want to try out. But both of these help you get ways into Metaphys Horse. You can use this with like any of the sprites, or you can use this with like two sprites too, um, or like the super heavy cards. So you have ways to get into it. I just want to see like how often it would come up and stuff.
Very cool. Yeah. Do you want to show us the side deck, or is that some secret spice?
The side deck is it's not really secret spice. I can show you part of it. Um, most of it is just like random stuff.
Yeah, even if you want to
Um,
talk about like what you played or what you would change.
yeah, I'll show you the half of the side deck that I actually played. The rest of it was all theory that didn't come up. I want to hash that out a little bit further before I share it with you all. The part I actually played was this. Three Magnuma, one Duraswarm, one Baldrake. This engine's really gas. You have to respect branded. Um, and it's really good for helping you synchro on your opponent's turn too. So there were a lot of branded players. People love the new support. It really like helps the deck a lot. So being able to counter that deck and not get expulsion is really what this is here for. It also helps you generate like big bodies and advantage with your own board, which is good. The other card I played was Ogre. I didn't feel this was quite necessary for like the main, but I sided it in a lot, especially against like Pearly in testing, and then against um Sword Soul and sometimes with Branded too. It doesn't really hit Branded that much, but it can kind of like put them in weird situations, which it's not bad, but it's not great either. Definitely want these, but obviously in the mirror match this was coming up a lot. These were the only cards that I used in my side deck
Yeah,
the entire.
no, that's fair. Well, any like final thoughts on the deck?
No, I
Knowing,
think two axis is a super strong deck.
yeah,
um,
this when you like pitched this to me months ago, when we were talking about support for this set, it just was insane. It's crazy to see what this deck is capable of doing.
yeah, no, it's definitely fun. I don't know if it's the best version yet. I think it's super fun. It has weird interactions that people don't necessarily know yet. So definitely worth trying out. Check out this guy. He's super fun, super cool.
My boy.
And yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear. And then yeah, let us know if you guys want us to do like a more in-depth video on this deck.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, Amar, for this awesome deck profile. This is Marty with Team Beige, and we're signing out. Peace.
Thanks, Marty. See y'all.